All right, hello everyone. My name is Joshwin Paulson. The purpose of this video is to help teachers start off with the basics in Canvas. After talking to quite a few teachers, I've realized that a lot of teachers feel a little intimidated by utilizing Canvas because it is a relatively large LMS, learning management system. There are so many things that you can do in Canvas that um, teaching professionals tend to initially be intimidated. But the key to using Canvas is using it to your advantage, using Canvas how you need it for your respective classes. It's not absolutely mandatory that you utilize all of the different features, all of the different aspects and available software capabilities of Canvas. It's just important that you know how to use the basics and whatever works for your specific class. That being said, there's three basic things that I feel like would make any teacher's life a bit more easier and classroom planning time a bit more efficient. And so I'm going to show you how to do creating an announcement, or not do, but rather creating how to create an announcement, how to create a discussion board post, and how to create an assignment. If you know how to do these three things, I feel like you have a good start on how to utilize Canvas best for any class. All right, that being said, I'm going to go to one of my current classes. I'm going to go to graphic design here. And then if I ever needed to let my class know of any information that I felt like they would need to know, possibly outside of class, if I'm not there, if I have a substitute teacher, or if I'm going to be out for a day or so, or if my students need to know anything relevant that maybe I was not able to share with them in class, or maybe I did share with them in class, but it's just a good reminder for them to be able to visually see. The announcement section is going to be very helpful in that regard. So I'm going to go to announcements, and you can already kind of see here I have quite a few announcements. For example, the one I just posted today was an Adobe Certified Professional video training. It's a great video on a step-by-step guide of the expectations of what needs to be learned for the Adobe certification that we offer here at Rowlett High School. That being said, I'm going to go ahead and show you how to create one from scratch. You're just going to simply go to the announcement green button here, and then you can let them know. For example, if I'm going to be out tomorrow, I can just say out tomorrow and then put that date 11/10/23, and I can say, hey guys, I'm going to be out tomorrow. Please continue to work on your emotionally charged advertisement campaign. And this is a project that they're currently working on. And then I can say something like, after completing your project, begin module 3 in geometrics. And then I can go ahead and hit publish. And then what the students will see is on their homepage, out tomorrow, 11/10/23. Basically, all of their assignments are here as well. Various announcements that I've already posted that are relevant to the current dates are also there as well. And it's right here, out tomorrow, 11/10/23. And so if they're responsible students, they'll click on that and read through it and have a good understanding of what they're going to be doing tomorrow. That being said, I'm not actually going to be out tomorrow, but this was just an example. So I'm going to go ahead and leave student view and then hit delete. Otherwise, they might get excited that I'm going to be out tomorrow and think that they have a sub. All right. So that's essentially how you create an announcement. Simple as that. Very easy and very helpful. Okay. You can also post entire assignments. For example, I have practice your skills for new students. Adobe Photoshop Lesson 1, Lesson 2, Lesson 3, Lesson 4. These are all posted here for my new students that get transferred mid-year and they probably haven't learned what we've covered in cycle 1, and that might be critical for them to be able to catch up with our current learning progress of where we're at collectively as a class currently. That being said, you can post entire assignments as an announcement just for them to be familiar with, and they can go through and click on the videos and follow along and do the assignment in whatever respective software that they're expected to complete that assignment in. And so, yeah, announcements are very, very beneficial. All right, next we have discussions. And a discussion board post is great as a bell ringer, as a quick test review option. Discussion boards are typically short, 5 questions. Hey, write a paragraph, warm up bell ringer style assignments, nothing too major. I have a list of them here already, but I'm going to show you how to create your own. So you'll just go to the green button here and select discussion. Once you've selected that, you're going to give the assignment or the discussion topic a title. And so I typically start off with the date. It helps me organize things whenever I'm doing some grading. So I'll do 11/10 discussion. And I'll say something like, or just give them a topic, emotional, or just put emotions in advertising. And then I can go ahead and give them a prompt to write about. So I'll say, write, or let's do this, in 4 to 5 sentences, write, tell me the importance of understanding human emotions as a graphic designer that works for an advertising agency. Make sure to cite any sources that you use. All right, you don't have to ask them to cite any sources if it's just a free response question, but if you want to kind of challenge them a little bit to do so, you can. And then you'll come down here, and if you select allow threaded replies, that simply allows them, let's say a lot of times students make a submission and they're like, oh, I should have added this, or I should have removed that and added this instead. This will allow them to continue to add to whatever they have written. So it's kind of like, you make a social media post on a, for example, Facebook, and then you can go underneath your post and place a comment and continue to make more comments to add to whatever you initially posted. Similar to that kind of idea is what allow threaded replies means. If you want users to post before seeing replies, this is also beneficial whenever you want to kind of assess individual student knowledge first, because a lot of times students can see other students' work and information and try to use that as their own. But by enabling this little switch right here, users must post before seeing replies. That ensures that the student is using their own information for their answer or their response first before being able to see any other student contribution. I don't really mess around with podcast feed. Obviously, I do take it as a grade. So I'll do max points 100, allow liking. This is another Facebook similar feature where students in the class can like a fellow student's post if they choose to. But yeah, that's a nice little thing if you want to improve the classroom culture in a very small, minute way. And then obviously you're going to pick an assignment group. We have 2 categories currently, min and mage. Major grades are worth about 33.33% of the student's grade. This is a relatively small assignment, so I might just throw it in that category there. And then or if you want, you can put in min, no problem. You have, I think, according to the current grading grouping policies, you have to have a certain number of minimum grades as well. Whatever works for you, use it for that. And then you go to the due date. You can typically warm up bell ringers are done within the first 15 minutes of class. So let's say tomorrow during first period, it'll be due then. And then you just simply save and publish. And then students will be able to see under discussions, emotions and advertising, they'll select it, and then they'll come here and then simply respond here with a text entry to that discussion topic. All right. And then finally, the last thing I want to discuss is assignments, or our assignments. And then I want to, as you can see, we have cycle 1 grades, we have cycle 2 grades, and then we have a combination of all grading periods. I think in order to be organized best, have the current cycle that you're in selected. Now, sometimes I have all grading periods selected because I've imported assignments from last year, and they could fall under cycle 1 or cycle 2. Therefore, sometimes I have all grading periods selected. That being said, I'm going to go ahead and click on an example assignment that I have here. Let's do Adobe Photoshop Selection Tools. Here we go. You have the title of the assignment, the description, images that are directly a part of the assignment, video links, all of that good stuff here. But let me go ahead and show you how to create a new assignment. So I'll go ahead and click on the Assignments tab, click on the green button there, Assignment. And then I'm going to give the assignment a name. Again, I always start off the assignment with a date first for organization purposes. All right, or I might do 11:10 because I'm at the end of the day here. 11:10, and I can just show you kind of how I built that other assignment. Selection tools. All right. Adobe Photoshop. And then I can just write the directions of the assignment that I had here. And I can say complete the following assignment, or just whatever directions that you have for your students to complete. They're not always going to be super lengthy. It could be something fairly quick, fairly simple. That being said, I'm going to do a little copy and paste job here. I'm going to duplicate my screen here. I'll go to assignments. Selection tools. I can just copy the directions here. Control C. Paste here. Control V. There we go. And then also, if you have images associated with your particular assignment, just right click, save image, downloads, right click, save image, downloads, right click, save image, downloads. All right. And then you're going to go to your assignment here, upload image. So you'll make sure that you're actually where you want the image to be uploaded. So I'll click here, or I'll just hit enter down here, upload image, go to downloads. I can shift, or control, I should rather say, one at a time, I suppose. Submit. I can drag the image to make it larger or smaller. I'll just keep it at its original size there, and then I'll hit enter. I'll go image again, upload image, pair it, submit. Same thing, upload image, forest, submit. All right. And then I simply just throw on any video links that will be helpful. Simple copy and paste job will suffice. All right. There are ways you can actually, input links here as well if you want to do that. You could record media, upload documents like PDFs that provide a rubric of how the assignment will be graded, etc. All of that good stuff. There's a lot of different options here, but we're just going over the basics today in terms of what you kind of absolutely need to know. That's going to be all you need for right now, especially when you're starting off. You don't want to get too complicated. You don't want to overwhelm yourself with all of the neat features, because sometimes when you're trying to do too much, it can be a bit overwhelming, and then teachers become intimidated from software like this, and they just choose not to use it. And that's not very productive, especially whenever you have an incredible software like Canvas available, that everything's streamlined into Skyward in terms of grading, and that can be another topic for a different video. But that being said, everything is just so streamlined that you want to take advantage of utilizing a software like Canvas. It saves you so much time and effort, and um, frees up more time for you to do other things and be productive in other ways. All right. I'm going to go ahead and assign it a category, a group category. This will be a minimum assignment, meaning that I choose to put it in the minimum category because minimum grades are actually worth 66.67% of the student's grades. That being said, they can upload their, how do I want them to upload their work? Well, it's not going to be a text entry, because a text entry would be them just writing something or typing something and submitting a response. Website URL, well, if it was a Google Doc or something like that, that would be fine. Or if their work was on some sort of website, they could paste their URL, but that doesn't apply for this specific project because they'll be turning in a JPEG image file as their work. Media recordings, they're not recording themselves or recording their work, so I don't need to check that. Student annotation is not going to be applicable for this particular scenario. File uploads, that's where I'm going to keep it at. Now, by default, if you want to already go ahead and have a few selected, that way for all your assignments, whether it's going to be a file upload or it's going to be a text entry or it's going to be a recording that they do, you can go ahead and have these pre-selected if you would like, or website URL, but you don't have to. Okay. Sometimes it can confuse the student because they're like, well, am I supposed to do a text entry? Am I supposed to do a URL? What am I supposed to do here? So I typically just assign the correct category to them whenever I'm creating the submission type or editing the submission type. Yeah, there's some other external tool options here as well. All right, let's stick with the basics. And then we'll go to, this is a nice little option right here, sync to Skyward. Do you need to know any of this, or do you need to really work with any of this? No. If you're starting with the Skull and Bone, you're just really trying to start with the basics here. This is what you need to know. Sync to Skyward, yes, because that's going to be very helpful on the tail end whenever you're syncing grades from Canvas directly to Skyward, so you're not logging into Skyward and manually entering grades. If you don't have this checked, you can always edit that later. That's fine as well. So it's not mandatory that you have this checked right away, but it is helpful and it kind of saves you time. And then the due date, okay. And again, it doesn't have to be due that very same day. If you know the project might take a few days, you can go ahead and assign a due date that's later. And then you'll save and publish. Now, when you publish it, that means the students can see it. If you don't want them to see it, then you simply just hit save. Okay. But if you want them to see it and you want them to be able to access it, save and publish. If I accidentally hit published, and I don't want them to see it, I can just simply go to the green button here and then unclick, and it's no longer published for the students to see. All right. So I hope that helped. Essentially, we covered 3 different topics today: how to create an announcement, how to create a discussion board post, and how to create an assignment. There's other things you can do in terms of editing or adjusting your announcements, creating a more intricate discussion board post, or a higher level assignment. But that is essentially how you get started. So I hope this helped, and yeah, that's it.